Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2020. Are you there, my friend? Is your VLC working? Are you okay?
I'm not sure. I don't think so, but we'll see. We can talk just naturally.
You can just go reload it. Let's do a bit of troubleshooting here before we get into game number 3, guys, between DRX and T1. If you just hop up to the top left there, you can see that there's a media tab. You go down to open network stream. What you can do is you can just press on that again, just press the play button again, and see whether that will work as far as the reload. For you guys at home, if you are utilizing a network stream, that is going to be your way of refreshing it. And there we go.
Now it's working.
Yep, now it's working. Perfect.
I can see the POG
Chovy
now.
is going to pick up player of the game. LS and LS fans everywhere rejoice as the Twisted Fate with his zoning destinies really did make this game very difficult for T1. 1-0-11, very binary, but very, very strong. In fact, the POG points as well. Binary also feels good.
The map control from Chovy was just so perfect. This is the way how you play here. You don't need to get kills. You just need to have a right knowledge about the rotation, the map rotation. And just all you need to do is just pick up the gold card in the late game and just stun the first target that you can see. I mean, if it's AD carry, it's even better.
Really beautiful. I actually loved how they used the Destiny for the chase here for this game-winning team fight. And it just felt like DRX were playing better as a team in this game compared to game number 1. As there you can see, BDD has been confirmed as our player of the game, of the season, of the series forever. In fact, he's our player of the year. Managed to pick up POG for both spring and summer. And this guy definitely very useful for Gen G. But we're not talking about Gen G today. We're going to be talking about them when whoever meets them in the playoffs on Friday. And of course, T1 versus Afrika will be on Wednesday. This match doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it will show us a lot of what to expect moving into the playoffs for T1 as Fake is coming out and Close is going back in. Oh my god. And now if T1 wins this game, it's just gonna feel the worst, man.
Yeah. Everyone is gonna blame Faker, but obviously again, that was not only Faker.
No,
that was just a team. Just randomly the team got changed for some reason. But now Closer is back and such an independent mid laner with aggressive picks. It's gonna help T1 in my opinion. And there is TF ban from T1. Such a respect.
Oh yeah, and they banned this in game number 1 as well, and I think that it probably should be banned despite the fact that it got nerfed a bit on its pick a card. The Destiny is just so valuable, right? Not only for being able to catch people out, but also for the vision. As Lilia going to be taken away from Cuz, we are going to see a very different game here in game number 3 compared to game number 1, despite the sides being the same. As Set is also going to be banned, and I think maybe that's a courtesy to Effort, who definitely had a rough game in game number 2.
Yeah, that set that reminded me the Iroh set when he was in Griffin.
Oh dear. Yes, well, he was replaced by a much better player, if you remember. Do you remember the guy that replaced him on Griffin?
We don't talk about him. He's dead.
I do. I like to talk about him. He's my friend, okay? We played Diablo together. So Senna's going to be banned here finally on T1 side, and DRX thinking about what they want to take away. Caitlyn's still available, Ashe still available, Volibear's still up as well. Certainly a lot of priority picks.
Yeah.
Could be picked up as the Caitlyn is where DRX are going to land, and Volibear considered for first pick and locked away here by T1.
And I have a strong feeling that both teams are having such a high prioritize on Akali right now. And I'm not gonna surprise if DRX is gonna pick up Akali in 1-2. But my question is, are they gonna prepare another team cup around Graves when TF is out?
I don't know whether Graves was all that necessary. Chovy's going to pick up his 100% win rate Bird in the mid lane. Currently 9 out of 9 on this pick in the LCK. The last time he played it, it was pretty forgettable, to be honest, but they still won. And so Chovy going to guarantee a fair bit of lane control in the early game, which is definitely going to work out for DRX's Sinful Ways. And now Deft back on the Kalista as well, and picking it blind into probably Ashe. That's going to come in here from Teddy.
Lane Kingdom is coming from DRX. Azir is gonna have early game mid Priya and also Kalista. They're gonna control the Drake. Really easy, and it feels like DRX, they really want to just control from the early game, and that's what happened at game 2. And T1, again, once again, Akali pick up 4 closer most likely, and I think it's just closers Priya on the mid lane.
Also, it's a good matchup into Azir as well. You can Shuriken backflip the ulti and then dive back on top of him as there's the Ashe like we were predicting earlier on. So DRX sort of drafting themselves into a bit of a hole with 2 of their lanes now in more of a struggling scenario. Let's see what they do here on their 3rd pick to try and shore up this draft.
Yeah.
Might just be a focus on the jungle, as of course Kaz already has locked away the Volibear.
I think it's
get a priority support
or jungler.
Okay, Lee Sin gonna come through, and Pyosik gonna be on his most played champion, currently 80% win rate on the Lee Sin as it stands right now. So definitely not bad at all for the DRX jungler. They're gonna ban away the Tahm Kench like they did in game number 1.
Yeah. And
see how it all changes.
as you mentioned, the mid lane and bot lane matchup is fine for both champions, like Akali into Azir and Ashe into Kalista is really fine. But at game 1, you remember with the Kalista Pantheon, they pushed out Ashe on the bot lane 2v2, and that helped out Evelynn to have such a great early game. And also Azir Akali matchup is more about Azir having a mid Priya until level 6, and there is some kill pressure for Akali after level 6. So I think it's still DRX's favor that they're gonna control the early game with this blind monk in the early game.
Yep.
I think the game plan should be like cycle the Drake earlier, and this Leona pick is gonna help it even more as well. So
and also
DRX,
Kerry is going to have so much control in team fights, being able to safely get out after Zenith bleeding in.
Yeah.
That's going to be Morgana Hobbit. I love Morgana into the Leona, denying so much of that CC that she has in her kit, and also giving yourself double range in that matchup. No. The consideration on the Shen, we've seen overseas, Shen really jump into some priority. And T1 is going to jump on that bandwagon. I was expecting Lehens to be our first Shen player, but not going to be the case. It's going to be T1 that debuts it. As Effort now thinking about what they want to pick up as the final pick. And Renekton is still available and might just be locked in here for Canna as their blind option towards the top lane.
Yeah. I really think Renekton is such a great tool for your jungler, because it feels really safe when you trade side for your bot side and you had Renekton for your top side, because it feels like it's really hard to dive on the Renekton when this Renekton is having a 50-50 farm on the top side and having an ultimate on the turret. So I think it's such a great choice, but at the same time they have Shen with Ashe, so if they can manage to just have a fine in laning phase, then they're gonna have such a great side lane with Ninja combo on the side lane with Renekton plus Bear on the top side. It's such a just great build up for the side lanes T1. But DRX side, maybe we can say this is LCK standard ban picks, like just picking up the Gnar on the top side, having a early Priors with Azir and Kalista in the mix. But it's DRX, so maybe it can be like so random in the early game again.
It's very true. I think this game is going to be all about what Chovy can get done, because if he can just sweep out all of the divers, then it's going to be so huge for T1. He's going to have to time it very nicely up against Cuz, who can't be stopped when he's in the sky with his ultimate. But Chovy's going to have a lot of agency in this game to stop Closer from being able to get through if he can be able to outplay him there, but also the Renekton and the Shen. So a lot of options here for Chovy. Let's see how he's going to be able to play it on his 100% win rate pick in that mid lane.
Yeah.
Definitely a more, I guess, even composition out from DRX. Often we see them with these very early game comps But this one's certainly more mid and can still function in the late game as well with the extra power that Azir will bring to their team fights. Let's see how it goes as we hop on the Rift for our third game of the series. And Closer's back in. Let's see whether he makes the difference. As Chovy has the T1 Azir skin as well. What a beast.
It's not Faker's skin though.
No, it's Easy Hoon's skin. Everyone needs to know it's Easy Hoon's skin.
Yeah.
As I think Faker got he got the Rise that year.
Yeah.
I think
You're
so.
right. And the point is still same, you know. DRX is gonna try to control the early game from mid and bot lane priors, and maybe you are wondering about the Shen support. I mean, it can be really aggressive when you combo with the kill pressure AD carries, but if you cannot one-shot with the aggressive taunt in the lane, then you're gonna get focused on you because you have no escape tool, right? So
yeah.
I think he's more planning for a defensive Shen support in the bot lane with exhaust choice, and it's more for the Akali in the side lane and Renekton to snowball the side lane, it seems like. And if you just save the old skills, then it just goes same for Leona, right? Leona also has no escape tool, so you just need to kite it out with Shen, and his abilities with like barrier and blocking the autos with W is gonna help AD carries kite as well. So I think the defensive Shen support is working out here with actually without Hex Flash as well. So it's just way more defensive as well.
Yeah. The thing that I don't like about the Shen so much is in just the isolated 2v2. They were hovering the Morgana, which certainly would have worked out for the laning phase.
Yeah.
But with the fact that Keria has an auto attack stun, she just presses Q, and if Effort is ever going to taunt in, he's going to immediately be stunned. So I don't know how that one's going to work unless he's going to be able to get down the Spirit's Refuge immediately and try and mitigate everything. But still can be a little bit dicey in the lane.
So both supports are gonna have like slowly just staring at them 24/7, and the AD carries trade is gonna like the change on the bot lane, and it's just Ashe and Kalista matchup. So if Kalista is looking for some aggressive trades, then Ashe cannot step up, and that is happening on the bot side as well.
Well, let's see how this one goes. We're checking in on it at the moment. Looks like Carrier and Deft with a lot of control in this lane. Especially early, as you would expect.
Yep.
2-0 here for Carrier's Leona. Doesn't like playing things more than twice, generally. As Doran with his debut Gnar performance. And Cuz already up here, looking to try and dive onto the Gnar.
There's no backup. Maybe Azir's TP only.
Yeah. And the teleport is going to come through. Chovy in a comfortable position there as Pyosik moving towards the bottom side. There's the flash forward as Teddy going to get stunned up immediately. Tries to cleanse that one out of the way. And he survives for so damn long. Pyosik going to be taken down and gets dabbed on by Canna. There's now Carrier off to the side. He'll be destroyed by Closer. And that dive was a disaster for DRX.
Yeah, the defensive tools were just ready. The Shen had exhaust, and also the taunt on the Leona was perfect timing, and Teddy used cleanse and flash at the right timing, and that was just so aggressive from a DRX side, because their mid laner was on the top side because of the defensive play on the top, right? So there's no more backups for DRX side, and they had not enough damage to kill out the Ashe. But yeah, that was really optimistic dive on the bot side, and yeah, it is just random again.
Immediate double teleport as well. The coordination out of T1 was brilliant for this moment as Closer and Canna come in at exactly the same time. And yeah, Closer being delivered that kill for the laning phase is just fantastic. For him also, just in isolation, because he was getting shoved in, as we saw over and over again, by Chovy. Is Canna up here still struggling, of course. The Gnar matchup, not great for the Crocodile. As he's looking to try and hop away, but Canna should be able to get this slice, as he does have boots too, in comparison to just Doran's blade. As there's the slice, the dice should come in, the flash comes down, and Canna had set this one up so beautifully. Double buffs at the ready, And that's a solo kill of Doran just overstepping his bounds.
Is it same T1 as game 2, by the way?
No, it's the same T1 as game 1.
What's the difference? I mean, I feel a little bad for Faker.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get in trouble, okay? Don't ask me these difficult questions, we did.
Max, I'm not sure. What is the difference? I mean...
I'm not saying it.
Like,
I'm not saying it. You're trapping me.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is that maybe like when Faker is up in the game, DRX is playing more serious or something. Because the bot dive was so...
about that.
The bot dive was so optimistic though.
Yeah, severely.
I mean, it's not about mid laners, right?
잡았어? 나이스. 정도가 뛸 수 있다.
Man, that was so perfectly played from Kana. I liked that he held on to the slice for as long as he possibly could, knowing that he'd catch up with his boots too, and extra movement speed anyway. Having a look at Chovy, we're looking at the LCK total. He's currently 11-2 for this season, of course. He is 9-0. Wasn't really an Azir player until this season rolled around. Has played most of his games on Azir in this season. His close is holding onto this minion wave for as long as he possibly can.
Yeah, I think Chovy is trying to prove himself again towards like so many people who is thinking that Chovy is the like only assassin player or something, or like he cannot play the control mage or something, you know? So he practiced so many Azir games, I remember, in solo queue, and it is working out for DRX side, and that made such a stable ban picks. But yeah, those like defensive play was really great on the top side though, but right after that, 3-man bot dive when they had double TP on the bot side was not great at all.
No, definitely not. I'm going to have a look to see what T1's going to do. Teddy just farming out his wave, but he's still very far behind, as you can see. And Closer in the mid lane, not able to quite get back when it comes to that CS, as you'd imagine. Up against not only Azir, but also Chovy just in general, who's very good at last hitting minions.
I mean, it is just normal, right? You have melee champion, and enemy have range champion, you're gonna lose CS.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh yeah, mid laner is different or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Having a look at the gold, you can see Deft is ahead, but he's the only one on his team that does have any sort of gold advantage, and you can see the Renekton in a great position up on the top side with a 670 gold lead.
Yeah. And I feel like Kana, he's having such a great record as well with the solo kill stats, right?
Yeah, man.
He's good at defensive plays, but also aggressive at the same time when he has the advantage on the top lane. So it makes T1 stronger.
Coming into this series, he was sitting on 26 solo kills. Trying to chase after Marin, who is at 31. I believe that was with playoffs included, so there's still a chance that Kana can get there. I mean, he's just got another one, so he's at 27 right now, but 31's a pretty big deal. Actually, no, I believe 31 was in the regular season, and I think he got to like 36 after playoffs. Of course, in 2015.
He's a monster. The top chain gank.
Yeah, Cuz, he's going to come in. That's a great Gnar into the wall as Cuz going to get slowed down, but he does use his own personal Ohm Wrecker to stop this turret from doing anything, and Kana spins around and picks up the kill for Cuz somehow. Thought that Koldemeek was the one that did it, but no, it was the Volibear that grabbed the kill, and that is going to be the 4th for T1.
Such a synchronized play, and yeah, this is the difference between Kana and Doran, I think. When Kana was on Doran's position, he didn't die at all when you're trading side, but this is the reason why everyone is not like high rating, overrating the Doran, because like he's not good at defensive plays, I feel like.
Not at all.
Yeah, he's always dying when the side trading is happening. So I think this is the issue for DRX, but at the same time, T1, they knew like what is happening around the map. They know that they need to give up the Drake, but topside advantage is a lot huger than the Drake right now. So yeah, I mean even Damwon is not good at Drake in the early game, but they ended the game in 20 minutes last time, for example, even though you lost like 2 Drakes in the early game, that doesn't matter. It's all about the snowball. And I think T1 is following that step with Damon, I guess.
Yeah, they're definitely doing well. And currently, 10 minutes in, over a 2,000 gold lead, definitely good news. DRX do have themselves a Mountain Drake, so that could help out as far as especially Leona and Nara are concerned. But let's have a look at this dive once again as Jonas Strong has some pretty cool angles here for us. Well, hey!
Yeah. There is so many animals on the top side, like crocodile, bear, and what is Nara?
Whatever Nara is.
Dinosaur?
I guess. I think it depends on which skin he's using.
I guess.
Actually, I'm not as familiar with this one. This is a more new skin.
Oh, it's astronaut Nar, right?
Yeah. This is the TFT Nar. Or I guess, you know, the second TFT Nar. I think there were a couple of them. As closer here, he's just trying to clear out waves as best he can. But you can see after that first kill, grabs himself an extra assist on top of it, and he's only behind almost 20 CS, which isn't too bad in a melee versus ranged matchup. Let's see what DRX is going to be able to do to try and salvage this one. Infernal Drake going to be up in 2.5 minutes. See whether it's going to be Earth, Wind, and Fire. Could be a Cloud Soul once again this game, or it could be the Ocean Soul, which would be absolutely fantastic for T1. If they can actually start picking up some dragons.
Yeah. And the bot lane matchup. Yeah, the bot lane matchup is also like still fine for DRX though. They're ahead in CS, but the reason why they cannot play like aggressive anymore is that the top side is already kind of demolished from T1 side. So I think the Renekton TP potential with Akali is like there's so much for DRX, so that's why they cannot use this like lane matchup enough on the bot side. So I feel like they just need to available Azir in the mid lane because he's still pressuring Akali, right? So just make sure that Azir is always first on the side lane, and then maybe you can have some great opportunity on the bot lane skirmishes with 5-man when Azir and Kalista is still fine in the game. And I still think that DRX has such a great potential when it comes to the team fight. So I really think they just need to synchronize the plays.
Well,
and it should be start from the mid lane.
I want to see Chovy do something in this game, absolutely. Sitting on 0-0-0 right now as Kanna's looking to try and steal away this red buff. Doran comes in as Cuz is over the side as well. 2v2 at the moment, but it looks like Akali has the inside track. The red buff is going to be stolen there by Cuz. Lee Sin falling behind at this stage is real bad news for DRX, as now Doran getting completely zoned away from every minion on the top side of the map. He at least will be able to tidy up this Krog camp.
Yeah, and you might missed it, but Keria, he moved to mid lane first, and after that you have the mid lane prior, so you can free to trade on the bot side. So that's the step when you cannot trade on the bot side. Just make sure your mid laner is able to come to the side lane first, and I mean you cannot go to the top side. This Kanna is already monster, so you cannot stop it.
Yeah, Godzilla is starting to get out of control. 2-0-1 right now. And he has Blade of the Ruin King completed, which is a fantastic item into Gnar, who very much likes his max health. You can see already built up a lot of it, is now Pyoshik. Coming on over, but yeah, Cuz Storm Strike available. Puts that one down, and Pyoshik's not going to be able to do anything against him. You can see the health bar difference is just gigantic between the Volibear and the Lee Sin. But Infernal Drake is going to be started here by DRX, and they do have a lot of secure with execute damage coming out of the Lee Sin and the Rend, of course, for the Kalista. This Q connects onto Effort. Otherwise, not too much going to happen. Let's see whether T1 can get some priority around this area. Chovy shifting sands over is going to help Pyoshik take down this Gromp, as it looks like T1 should just be able to freely start this one off. Carrier over to the side. He has been seen, and now they're going to try and start the fight. The Dragon goes to T1, but can they win the team fight is the question. That's a great kick, as Canna's going to get knocked up, but he flashes on forward. Arrow is going to connect, and Chovy already decimated in this fight. Deft is going to limp away, but Closer says no. And it's now only Doran left remaining. This is the T1 we wanted to see, as they're now 8-0 in this game.
The team fight structure again was just so perfect. They just start off the Drake and finishes it. The decides, like, they just decide to hit it and take the fight.
Yeah, so clean. I love the decisiveness, like you were talking about, as Doran's trying his very best to hold on to this minion wave. Actually ults it out of the way. That's a good wallop onto effort, as he's going to flash away Teddy. Thankfully for T1, did pick up the turret aggro's. Now Chovy is going to make his way in. Emperor's Divide used, but Teddy's going to survive for the moment. Max range Zenith Blade will be the end of Cuz, and it's going to be the Azir that grabs the first kill for DRX. Closer still in the fight, trying to get something done, but will just backflip his way out. And you can see now on the bottom side, it's Renekton versus Kalista. Not great news, as he is going to teleport into the mid lane, try and keep that one alive. And that is a very startled Yuumi.
Yeah. I mean, there was some inting moments still from the T1, but the teamfight structure was just so perfect. The carrier's engage was not hitting it right on the Ashe, so Doran, he couldn't do anything. The rage control was not on point as well, and the Akali engage, the follow-up Ashe ultimate with Volibear jumping in was just so perfect. And again, it reminds me the game 1 again, the when T1 had the control. And here we go, F-Ward. I think he's not having a great time today.
No, it's not his greatest series so far, as the Emperor's Divide was so close to killing Teddy, but ultimately they got the kill onto Cousin, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah. And you know what? Every single time when your support misplays, your AD carry dies. That's like science.
Yeah. The classic. As there was a flash that went on cooldown. I believe that might have been Chovy's.
Yeah, Chovy got forced because of Closer, I guess.
Something like that. Closer doesn't have his teleport. His flash either, or his teleport. Talk about it, but no flashes available from either team. We'll see whether either of them are going to start fights with all of those cooldowns now unavailable. 33 CS lead here for Deft. He's doing very well on the Kalista.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing okay, but is it okay for Kalista? That's my question, you know? With Kalista, you know, you want to snowball the early game, and I mean, they couldn't even make a fight with it. So, because of the pressure from jungle and Renekton, I mean, they just couldn't fight at all. So, the team fight potential is the only thing that they have right now, and that was not happening as well from the Drake side. So I think they just need to have some cheeky plays right now. The item difference is on T1 side. They're gonna control the side lane as well, so they need to have, like, they just need to trade something. They just need to give up some wave or turret to have a better tempo on the mid lane and try to get some mid team fight. Otherwise they're gonna get behind every single time because you have no side lane prior, and also you cannot fight on the mid lane.
Well, they're going to have to give up this outer turret, I believe, because just going to walk up to them, Closer in flanking position, and DRX intelligently to just let that one go. Deft still here, trying to farm as best he can. That Pierce is pretty good, picking up a lot of those minions, as Cuz is eradicating the jungle of anything that Pyoshik wants as Canna. He dives on forward, he's looking to try and kill the Lee Sin, who almost just gets one combo. The kickback is going to keep Pyoshik alive for the moment. But that is a huge amount of damage coming out from Canna, who only invests his ultimate to try and make that one happen. 3-0-4 for the Renekton. Only missed out on one kill as far as kill contribution. This Renekton is massive.
Yeah, the issue for DRX right now is that they need to force a team fight on the mid lane. I think that's the only potential that they have, because look at the side laners. Renekton with Black Flavor already, and they have Shen, right? And the other side, there is Akali, which is just impossible to catch on the side lane. So they have literally no chance on the side lane. right now. So they just need to some force pulling the trigger on the mid lane. Like those kind of things should happen on the mid lane. Otherwise, T1 is gonna slowly get every single thing, like every single objectives on the Rift right now, and it seems like that is happening.
Well, let's see whether they can continue to do so. DRX with their 1 kill, going to be happy about that one, as it is going to be the Cloud Soul. I apologize for the caster curse, but these things happen, guys. I'm just glad that it's Earth, Wind, and Fire, because I'm a fan. So that's okay. Closer an effort up here towards the top side, clearing out vision where they can. Baron has spawned 30 seconds ago. No team finds themselves in a position to actually do anything about it. And DRX might be down 5,000 gold, but it's not as bad as in game number 1, right? They do have a composition that can still team fight.
Yeah.
But it just feels like T1 are far more coordinated in comparison to DRX in this series, especially in this game.
That is true. The vision control is real, and actually, I mean, I already mentioned so many times, like, how strong is T1's team comp is helping the vision control as well. You know, it's not easy to take the fight against T1's team competition. So I think that is kind of helping their rotation as well. So the vision control is already completed from T1 side. Just look at the DRX's red side jungle vision control.
Yeah.
It's not their
Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's not their jungle anymore. So
I don't think it's been their jungle for quite a while. I think Cuz has got the last 3 red buffs over on Pyoshik's side of the map.
Yeah.
It's definitely bad news. And he is 2-1-3, Dead Man's Plate completed. And he's ahead by quite a few camps at this stage as well. So definitely a very good game for the Volley Bear. Chovy has a couple of items, so his Nashor's Tooth is now complete. He will be doing a fair bit of damage, and you can see Death still looking for that Runar's Hurricane to come in.
yeah.
Not quite there just yet, though, as now he's looking to go back. We'll see whether he can complete the item, which will be huge moving into the next team fight.
I mean, if T1 takes just straight up 5v5 team fight, then I think DRX still has a chance, but I don't think T1 is gonna do that when you have Akali and Renekton and Shen in your team comp. So I think they're gonna dribble with them, play with them with the map position right now. So I think it's all about DRX. DRX is pulling the trigger or no. Otherwise, T1 is gonna control the side lane. So
Definitely feels like they're already doing that. As they're up towards the top lane, sort of having to stick underneath his turret. Doran super far behind when it comes to gold and items. We have Black Cleaver and the Blade of the Ruin King. In fact, I think, yeah, Canna is ahead by 1 full Blade of the Ruin King. Which is just obscene. To be perfectly honest, Doran does have a lot of health in Meganar form, but Canna almost has the same amount. As Deft bounces his way towards this mid lane. And let's see whether DRX can salvage this 2.6k. Yeah, that almost is the value of a Blade of the Ruin King as far as Canna's lead.
I really feel like they need to force something.
There's the flash in. Okay, Teddy immediately has to cleanse. The exhaust goes down onto the Ashe as teleport comes on forward. Fate's call to save Carrier. Is now Deft gonna bounce the polar bear around, and in goes Chovy, but he face plants into the arrow. Survives for a very long time as the volley not gonna pick it up, but the flash forward from Teddy will finish off the Emperor of Shurima. And now Deft still trying to bounce away from this one. Carry gonna be the sacrificial lamb as ulti comes down, and Cuz trying to get some revenge here up against Deft, and he will be able to do so there. And T1 feels like they have opened the game as Closer looks for the 5-point strike onto Pyoshik. Doran getting angry as the Meganar will come down, but he doesn't find the wallop, nor does he find the bowling ball, or whatever that is, the spaceship, Sputnik. He throws at the Akali. Now the Baron is going to be started, and it looks like T1 will be able to grab this unless Pyoshik can do something absolutely heroic. Over goes Closer. He's trying to do what he can there as he just gets back, and there's the flash from Effort. Gets a big old taunt, and Teddy delivered a free kill and a free Baron as T1 have blown this game wide open.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned that DRX really needed to engage, but why do you force like that? That was so optimistic. You could just use Leona ulti to force Ashe's cleanse first, and then you can look for the next plays. But I think that was really optimistic engage by Keria, and after that there is no chance when Azir fails his combo.
Yeah, that was so sad from Chovy.
I mean, I think the engage at first place was not great at all. There was no chance of winning the team fight. So I think that was really disappointing engage. But I mean, yeah.
Okay, that's a teleport. As
Okay.
Doran teleports into the bottom lane as Chovy was teleporting out. So that is called miscommunication, guys. As that's a very happy Pengu. And a very sad Nah, as T1 also going to be protecting around the Drake. Doran survives for quite a while, but he's still dead. Teddy going to be able to grab that one. As Closer's looking to try and escape from 4 members, and it looks like he's actually very happy to tango with all of these DRX players, standing on his own control ward. As DRX move towards the mid lane, they will be able to take this outer turret with a good rotation. No, not actually able to do so. As Closer gets chunked by a Pierce, but otherwise not too much else is going to happen.
Yeah, their mech control is real. It reminds me like how Damwon plays. They never give up the objectives, even though it can be like traded. They even defend the mid turret. That was such a great map rotation play, and it seems like they're looking for Azir on the top side.
Yeah, Cuz is going to find him, gets the stun down. The Sand Soldier's doing some work here, but the ulti comes down. Emperor's Divide, very well timed there from Chovy as effort. Tries to come forward, gets himself a taunt as Chovy's trying to keep himself up, but he's not going to be able to. He is smoked. And Cuz will grab that kill. And DRX, I mean, they just wanted their Azir to help with wave clear, but he's not going to be able to do that as Deft is going to be the Lone Ranger in that regard.
Yeah. It feels like the game is already really one-sided. Every single play that T1 made is working out, and DRX, they're just falling down, dying 24/7 up and down. But yeah, I mean, I was wondering why Leona's ultimate was like on 24/7, because it has really low cooldown, so you can always just try to force enemies cleanse, especially when they have Ashe kind of champion. It's pretty easy to hit it, right? So I was expecting Keria to do something more, some active plays, but it feels like he's on pressure or something that he need to engage, like hard force, but always hard forcing is not working against such a like huge gold lead team. And that happened. That just happened on the mid lane, and after that, every single plays that T1 make is just working out because they are fed enough.
Mega fed. There's almost a Rabbidan's death cap on Closer. He will be able to insta-kill anyone. He has a Forbidden Book, which ain't great. Will, I guess, deny a bit of the health that Doran's going to get from turning into Mega now, but otherwise it's a worthless purchase. That's okay. He's still winning. And sometimes you just want to have it.
I mean, I already told you, if you're winning, item doesn't matter.
Yep, that's true. That's true. So we don't even need to really talk about it. It's still going to be doing some stuff as now Chovy trying to chase after him. But yeah, Closer's just going to be able to backflip away. And he's playing very safe as he shoves in this top wave. Steric's Gauge done for Canna. He's also got a BF sword there for fun. See what he turns that into. I assume it's going to be a GA. But he could have some fun with it because, like you say, kind of irrelevant as Sundisk comes through towards the top side to help Chovy farm against Closer. Baron going to be up again in about a minute and a half, and Cloud Drake going to be in 2 minutes' time as Teddy steals away yet another red buff. Kyoshik not allowed to get that one at all. During this game, Adaptive Helm completed because, as effort, does have to get out of the way of the Solar Flare. It doesn't cost him too much. He's just going to taunt his way out. That'll be fine. DRX, I don't know how they're going to pick up the pieces here. They are 12,000 gold behind. Cloud Soul going to be coming in very, very soon. Teddy just going to be able to arrow and sprint around extraordinarily quickly. And he's going to be able to do it a lot as well.
Every single thing is falling down from DRX side. There is not many jungle camps that DRX can look for. And the snowball is coming in real. The gold difference is already over 10k gold, right?
Yeah, it's ludicrous.
Yeah. So we can see how clean T1 are when it comes to the rotation. And here we go.
Yeah, a bit of a flank opportunity here as there is a Kali on the top side. Arrow is going to fly into the nether. As now Carrier is just doing the best he can to keep the rest of his team alive. Good kickback there onto Canna, who has the dominance. But look at the amount of money that T1 has right now. Deft is flashed immediately out of the fight. Kyoshik is very, very dead. As in goes Kuz. Great engage from him as the flash out from Chovy. We'll see whether he can keep himself alive. Oh my god! The shifting sands was so beautiful. If they had any gold, it would have looked amazing. But didn't quite work as Deft is able to pick up at least one of these kills. But T1 are just so far ahead. Deft slowed down underneath the turret. They are still going to look for this one as, yeah, Teddy has his big friend Renekton to be there to help mitigate that one. And, okay, Doran flashing forward, misses it, but walking back into the turret is exactly not what Teddy wants to do, is cue the Clown Fiesta music, as Yakety Sax will be required, as they're not able to actually open the base. And Doran still, he lands it. Manages to tag the crocodile, and he's still running as fast as he can, and that's going to be the last boomerang that will connect. So Doran throws out a UFO, and DRX get 4 kills in that fight.
So DRX is gonna get the Nasher, it seems like. Azir is gonna TP into the Nasher pit. And
oh my god, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, DRX is Nasher. Again, T1 is limit testing.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, this game was a lot of control for T1, and yes, they are still ahead by a gigantic margin. Still over 10,000 gold. But they're going to protect this inhibitor top lane. They're going to get themselves a Baron buff. And it's Cloud Soul, so who cares? They're not going to be too worried about that one. So definitely a good turnaround for DRX as we have a look at it again.
Yeah, that Chovy's comeback was real. And at first, Ashe's ultimate was not hitting it right. So that was not that great for T1, but because of the money. This is the money power that they're flexing on them.
And look at how far Chovy goes with his shifting sands as well. It's actually so sick.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoop. Almost gets Teddy. It's almost a 4-man.
Yeah. I mean, his reaction is on point, so it's okay. But the chase, turret dive, was just too much, I guess.
Yeah, and Teddy actually almost died to Deft as well as Doran here forces Teddy under the turret. And then, yeah, Clown Fiesta continues. Doran looking for Canna here. Gets himself a hyper proc.
Yeah.
And he's going to proc the Sterix Gauge there as well. Definitely good news.
Obviously,
okay, he's got a Thorn Mail. Doran's massive.
I mean, he's okay now because he's tank. So the Clown Fiesta is real because DRX got Nasher, so they're gonna slow down the game again. There is open inhib on the top side, and I mean T1 is one of the team who really wants to like snowball slowly, and they think about the safety first. But this time around, it feels like they're just testing limits, right?
Well, sometimes you have to. As we also want to spend as much time here on the broadcast for the final series. So I think we're getting our money's worth when it comes to League of Legends for the last series of the Summer Split for 2020.
Yeah, we like it because I like to see more of like mechanical plays in team fights because it is actually happening. Those goal difference is not like if you
it's coming back. It's under 10,000 now.
Yeah, if you have
DRX,
those kind
they
of
have a
goal
competent
difference.
team fight. Okay, Closer looking for a flank. Doran not going to get a ward down there or anything like that, so they don't quite see the Akali. As looks like the back is going to come through from the Volley Bear. And the siege will continue. Inner turret goes down. Yet more of that gold lead mitigated. Is this the dream comeback, is the question. Remember, Chovy has to protect his 100% win rate on the Azir, so it's very, very important. But Closer, he wants to shut it down. Looking for the flank, but DRX, they don't want it. They're playing very safely. As look at the mad pings on the red buff by T1. They're like, no! DRX must never get a red buff this game. Yeah, and they are booking it. They're heading all the way over there immediately. As
They're
Doran
looking for the
over
tempo play. Yeah, they're looking for the tempo play, but this time around, they're gonna get the red buff for the first time
Yeah, congratulations, DRX, on the red buff.
But that's not the point, you know. They are slowing down the game, and the point is they have late game potential. He's on vision, by the way.
Effort. He is going to be able to blast cone his way out. That was a very nice escape, actually. That's called not window shopping, guys. To all of you guys at home, don't window shop. And Effort not going to get caught.
Good play. But anyways, the Cloud Soul is not helping T1 that much, right? And it's gonna like help DRX more at this point, and that is actually Shen support's dilemma. In the late game team fight, you are kind of useless compared to Leona, right? So I think DRX, they can for sure win the team fight at this point, because Chovy also got the Leandris in the mix. Already 4 items on Azir. So
yeah,
it's not anymore like it's not T1 stomping game anymore. So they just need to set up the right map control again. But this time around, it's gonna be harder because DRX got some items. Look at the item difference. It's not that huge anymore.
No, it's not crazy. And remember, Lee Sin in the late game, if he gets that one kick onto the priority target, like even kicking Closer out of his shroud, right, into some CC that Carrier can put together, can be dangerous times. As you can see, DRX moving towards the bottom lane. They're going to clear that one out. Outer turrets still available in both side lanes. It's 7 turrets to 2 right now, so a lot of standing gold on this map, but not a lot of opportunity for DRX to play around these side lanes, as we can see. Baron going to be up at about the same time as Elder Drake in about a minute's time. We'll see where the teams are going to prioritize as Pyoshik looking for cousin effort here towards the bottom side. Stormstrike comes in. But not going to be finding too many battles here at this stage. A back comes through from Closer. He's looking for a Void Staff. Definitely going to need one of those as Chovy comes down. He can clear out turrets very quickly. And yet more gold comes into the coffers of DRX.
Yeah, it's all about one team fight right now. And it's looking like DRX is going for the deep side on T1 side.
Yep, got a big Naba for Doran. He's ready to teleport. As you can see, T1 are closing in from all angles. Oh, this is super dangerous for DRX. They want to catch out Effort, who comes in through the side. He has Stand United available, of course, who can join his team whenever they want, as neither of these teams really ready to pull the trigger. Baron's live. Elder's up in 5 seconds. And whoever makes the decisive play is likely going to be the winner here. As we'll see, T1 in position to fight this one out. DRX have started the Elder Drake.
It's the last one.
Yep, Closer out of vision as he is spotted by a cheeky little ward there over the wall. Elder Drake being controlled right now by T1. Teddy tanking it up. As Kenner as well is down to half health. As there's the flash, they catch out the Akali. Solar Flare comes in, but it's mitigated by the Zhonyas. She's trying to keep herself up here as Effort as well. Just trying to keep them all CC'd. And the Azir is going to go down. It is a bloodbath, but all the blood on the ground is DRX's. And there we go. Closer says goodnight. And now T1 are going to finish off this series.
That super save from Effort was just fantastic at the last time. Closer, he kind of missed to dodge Azir's ulti with Flash, but after that, Effort with 3-man taunt on the target saved the game, saved the day. T1 finally cleaning up DRX against DRX.
Yeah, really nicely done from T1. 23-6. As far as the scoreline, it does not look close. However, DRX were able to claw their way back in somewhat towards the end of that game, but that last team fight was not close. They tried to start a fight onto Closer, and it did not work out. I mean, Chovy, you got to go for those sort of plays, right? Especially when you're playing from behind, but Stand United comes in. The taunt was really good. In a corridor like that, it's almost too easy, but really, really well played. There by T1 in the very last moments, but some shaky points of all of these games, to be honest, for both of these teams. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can actually do up against the likes of Gen.G and Damwon, who do look far more consistent at this time.
Yeah, I think in LCK we should talk about the teams without Damwon Gaming, you know? Diamond Gaming
Yeah,
is on
true,
another
true.
level, so we shouldn't talk about them. And just T1, they improved so much with the new mid laner, because it feels like he was on team for a long time. The synchronized play was on point, and the macro was clean as well. So I mean, their draft was also so clean. It seems like if you do not ban Akali out of closer, it feels like the game is just harder. His teamfight is on point.
Yeah, he's very, very good at the Akali. And in fact, Akali coming back into meta scares me a little bit, because we all know what Showmaker can do with that champion as well. But he's going to be waiting there in the final. That is going to be in a while's time, as we will have a wildcard match first. That is, of course, between T1 and Afrika. We'll see exactly what the roster is going to be as we have a look at some of the highlights.
Oh yeah, and it's time to vote POG. And yeah, maybe I should just vote for Karma because of the early game. He got control.
You could do that.
He got solo kill. Yeah,
He was definitely a big boy.
But the mid late game was so sloppy from T1, so I'm so confused. But anyways, for
I don't quite know who
T1,
to give it to, actually. I think maybe Canna for the early game. I think you might be right. But it's up to you, my friend. I've lost my rights for voting for player of the game. So it's all on you.
I will vote for Karma because of the early game. And yeah, this kind of desperate play was not working out for DRX, but T1 definitely in the late game they were testing their limits. So
Yes,
that
definitely
made
a lot
even
of limit
harder.
testing.
Yeah. And after that, DRX, they got some items. There was one chance for in the team fight. There was a one chance, but yeah. Anyways, T1 got cleaned up. And I remember the last team fight was all about the Akali Shen synergy in a team fight. So I mean, I like to see that. I mean, this team fight, Chobi's drift was on point though.
Yeah, it was super sick. The exhaust timing was very nice. Actually missed that.
Yeah.
Even in the replay last time, but effort being able to stop all of that damage from the Emperor's Divide was definitely important. And this was the last team fight as Closer felt like he got caught out. I mean, he flashed and it wasn't enough, but the Zhonya's really well timed, and then the taunt onto 3 members, absolutely exactly what you want.
Exactly. The 3-man taunt was on point, and even though you fail, your teammate always helps you. That's the point. League of Legends is all about team game.
Yep, it's a trust fall. As you can see, DRX did a lot of damage. I mean, even Azir being able to out-damage anyone on the side of T1. The T1 did the damage where it mattered. 25.1k there from the Gnar. Nicely done. But as you can see, it was a bit of a rocky ride for T1. Not quite able to follow through on that 12,000 gold lead that they put together for themselves. So, yeah, some question marks for both of these teams, but I think a lot of people were expecting DRX to fall down in this series. I think that their consistency has certainly been off, but let's see whether they can shore it up moving into the playoffs. They will make their playoff debut in the semi-final against either Afrika, Gen G, or T1, depending on which one is going to be able to win their way up the gauntlet. But we'll be able to have a chat to T1, and I think this interview is actually going to be pretty eye-opening. Because I hope we do get some questions about this mid lane and what it means switching Closer and Faker out, because I don't want to talk about it, and hopefully the T1 players can instead.
Is Korean broadcast gonna like talk about that though?
Well,
That's
I don't
my
know.
question.
Maybe Cloud Templar is going to be able to take a, I don't know, figure it out. As 5-1 and 10 will be Closer that grabs player of the game on his Akali. I don't know whether he was necessarily the most pivotal player, but he still looked good on the champion.
His team fight was on point though. Like every time when he plays Akali, like his positioning was on point. So I think he deserves it. Like every single time he was on enemy damage dealer, one-shotting. Maybe not one-shotting, but like zoning out the damage dealer is already enough in the game, right? So like he was doing so much job on Akali.
Yep. I like that he was bouncing over walls time and time again here around this Baron fight as well. Definitely a lot of fun. And he is just a great Akali player, right? So picking it up as we're going to have a listen to T1 now.
아래 물렸다.
I got cut. Look me.
나지로 풀.
Look at Kali. Azir no
가지러 올게, 우리.
flash.
가지러
Azir no flash.
가져. 아지를.
Azir no flash.
잡았고.
이긴 것 같아.
We got him. I think we
빨리.
won. Kali stuff.
탑텔 타면 끝나.
할게.
TP top.
나이스.
Nice. Nice. Ooh.
Nice. 6 out of 9. Us and the Chinese broadcast also voting for Canada there as one of the Korean casters as well, throwing a vote his way. I think he definitely deserves at least a look in for how this one went. But Closer picking up 2 player of the games in the games that T1 won and getting subbed out for a game 2 that they lost.
You said it.
I mean, I said the facts.
Yeah,
That's what
the
I said.
truth.
I'm not going to talk about the why. I'm just
Yeah.
not going to do it. Not going to be caught. It's not happening.
The team style was also like changing so like differently. So
Yep. Let's listen to Ji-sun though as Closer's here for the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's hear from the solo POG on the side of T1. Closer picking a 2-1 victory against DRX.
엄청 많이
Before going
긴장했는데
into this series, I was very nervous.
이겨서 기분 좋고요.
I'm happy that we won.
기분 좋습니다.
Yeah, I'm just glad.
여러 멋진 장면들 많이 만들었는데 제일 기억나는
Is there any specific play that you remember in all 3 games? Some of the montage moments.
인상 깊게 남은 장면은 오늘 한타 했을 때 마지막 판에
In the last game,
살아도
I survived in that team fight.
그런 게 제일
And
기억에
then I
남는
just
것
like scratched everyone with my ultimate.
같아요. 네, 살았다.
자, 그리고 1세트부터 말씀드리면
Let's go back to game number 1 first.
이분이 나왔을 때 저희가 좀 놀랐거든요.
We saw Evelyn coming out from DRX.
어떤 대회가 나왔습니까?
How did the players react to it?
심적으로는 그냥
As a
이블린
team,
나왔네.
we were like, oh, it's
이런
Evelyn.
쪽으로 하고 그냥
And then,
이블린 조심하면서 하자.
like,
약간
let's
이런
be
식으로
cautious of
했는데
Evelyn. That was it. We weren't too worried about it.
나올 거라는 걸 예상을 했던 건가요?
Did the team expect that it's gonna be viable in this series?
이블린 네, 어느 정도 나올 수는
Yeah.
있을 거다 아마.
We thought that this is gonna be quite viable, especially because Pyosik plays it a lot on solo queue.
그럼 오늘 또 초비 선수와의 말라인도 굉장히 또 화제가
You were playing up against Chovy, one of the biggest match highlight of today's series. So how was the mid lane competition like?
소비 선수 저번부터 되게 만나고 싶었고
I mean, I've always wanted to play up against him, and I always thought that he's a good player. So I was
이겨서 좋고
nervous, and I'm happy that I was able to defeat him. And it was my honor to play up against Chovy.
그리고 오늘 이 경기에서 페이커로 선수 교체가
Faker subbed in game number 2.
가져갔음에도
Even though you got the POG in game number 1, was that planned beforehand, before the series? What was the background about that substitution? It was all planned, and we decided to put me for game number 1 and put Faker for game number 2.
다시 넘어가도록 하겠습니다.
Let's move on to game number 3. The answer to DRX bottom lane turret type was so on point. How did the players react to that so fast?
아 초반에 미아프 봤는데 그냥 상대 아지르는
Well,
텔포를 탔는데
Azir to TP to the top lane.
김성 형이
So we had higher proximity on the bottom lane, and Teddy made a call that we have to take TP instantly. So we were able to kind of be on the same page because we had 2 TPs available. We had another Azir versus Akali matchup on the mid lane, and it was 11-11, a very balanced matchup. So as an Akali player in game number 3, how do you think that matchup goes like? Akali, if she can hold on to a little bit, and then as she gets the revolver, actually she can kind of outplay Azir. So I think Akali is in a favorable situation.
어쨌든 지금까지는 조이 중심으로 해서
For Closer, you have been playing Zoe mostly, and you only played 4 different champions so far. So some people were questioning your champion pool. Is there any other champions that you would like to try? I mean, I have a lot in store. I want to play champions that I'm confident in, and also I just wanted to get good results, so that's why I ended up playing Zoe, Sylas, Akali.
본인의 챔프 픽에 대해서도 많이 귀를 기울일 것 같은데 이제 향후에 플레이오프까지 가게
So
되면
moving on to playoffs, you have to face up against some of the premier players in the LCK. How do you feel? Are you nervous?
안 떨려요? 솔직히 플레이오프 하게 되는데 이제 바로
Let's be honest.
떨리긴 했는데
I mean,
그래도
I've
어쨌든
been
동물도 많아가지고
feeling quite nervous, but at the same time, I got a lot of victories. So if I practice enough, I think I will be feeling more comfortable and perform well.
자 그럼 이제 소위 와카전부터 도장 깨기 해야 됩니다.
You guys have to start from the wild cards series. Another miracle run to go for T1. How far can T1 go? What's your mindset for the playoffs run?
네, 계속 연습 열심히 하면서
We will
프로 준비할
keep up the hard work and prepare for the playoffs. I have a lot of champions that I want to show to my fans, so please keep supporting us. Thank you.
다시 한번 오늘 승리 축하드리고요.
Once again, congratulations on your win, and wish you the best of luck in the upcoming playoffs as well. This will be the end of the interview with Closer from T1.
Thank you very much, Jisun, for the interview translation. We almost got the question that we were looking for, as we at least found out that it was all planned as far as the substitutions were concerned, but we didn't exactly find out about Game 3 and why that one came in. But let's not talk about that. Let's have a chat about the standings, as both of these teams were locked into their positions, so it didn't necessarily mean too much. But I think we learned a lot about which teams are favorites moving into the playoffs. And Damwon, waiting in first place, are feeling like an absolute raid boss this season.
Yeah, and the point is DRX, it was their last match before the playoff, and they are already in semifinals, right? And this is not a great news for them. Their performance is not on point right before the playoffs, so it's all about their preparation before the playoffs, and we'll see what's gonna happen. But right now, we cannot expect like DRX like winning against Damo Gaming when it comes to finals, for example. So it's really hard for right now. But T1,
That's absolutely correct.
so many positive things.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to really find much to say about anyone facing Damwon in the final, but we'll see whether T1 can make that miracle run like Closer was talking about. We still do have one more match this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Dynamics and Harmful Life's last match here for 2020. And we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. As ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to about a 30-minute break, and we'll see you after for more LCK.